Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Have you ever held a coin so ordinary in your hand, a simple piece of copper you barely looked at twice, and wondered if it could be worth hundreds of millions of dollars? Imagine flipping through your pocket change one day, eyes half focused, only to stumble upon a coin minted in 1973 with a small D marking just under the date, a 1973 D 1-cent coin, the kind most people wouldn't give a second thought to, but one that has shocked numismatists, collectors, and even financial historians by recently being appraised and sold for an astronomical $415 million, making it not only one of the most valuable coins in U.S. history but also a symbol of how rarity, and historical mystery can combine to skyrocket a humble penny into a priceless treasure. And the story behind this coin is far more mind-blowing than you can ever imagine, beginning not just in the Denver Mint but in a sequence of overlooked manufacturing anomalies, a rare alloy composition, misaligned dies, double strikes, and planchet contamination that created an unprecedented collectible that would remain hidden for decades before capturing the attention of experts across the world. In 1973, the Denver Mint produced over 3.5 billion 1-cent coins, and amidst this massive production, a very rare anomaly occurred. Certain planchets, or blank metal discs intended to become coins, were mistakenly made using a transitional alloy blend never meant for circulation, combining a copper and zinc ratio that had only been used in experimental pieces during pre-production trials in the late 1960s for a proposed penny redesign. Yet somehow, a batch of these alloy-blended planchets were mixed into the general coin press line and struck with the standard Lincoln design bearing the 1973 D date, an error which went unnoticed due to the sheer volume of production and the fact that such differences in weight and color were nearly imperceptible to the naked eye without precise instruments. But what truly pushed this coin into legendary status wasn't just the alloy. It was a catastrophic die misalignment during one of the production shifts that left the obverse design, the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, slightly off-center, while the reverse side, showing the Lincoln Memorial, bore ghosted double impressions of the pillars and the word United appearing to echo across the top edge, an error now classified as a double-strike misfeed combined with rotational misalignment, which when combined with the rare alloy and an unconfirmed yet possible over-punched mintmark, RPM, or repunched mintmark, where the D was mistakenly struck over an S or another D, resulted in a multi-error hybrid coin that defied classification under standard mint error categories, creating something so spectacularly unique that only one example has been confirmed to exist as of today. It wasn't until a retired metallurgist and hobby coin collector from Texas acquired the coin in an estate sale box purchased for less than $20 that the coin's true nature began to surface. Upon noticing subtle discoloration and unusual weight differences, he sent it to a third-party grading service, and after months of non-disclosure agreements and scientific testing involving scanning electron microscopes, X-ray fluorescence spectroscopy, and high-resolution digital imaging, it was officially classified as a 1973 D transitional experimental double-strike off-center penny, and given a grade of MS 68 red, which essentially meant it was nearly flawless, retaining original luster, microscopic detail, and the error features with such clarity that it surpassed even the rarest of error coins known. Numismatic circles were electrified, as forums and publications like Coin World and Numismatic News exploded with debates, disbelief, and eventual consensus that this coin represented a once-in-a-generation discovery, a kind of mythical unicorn of the coin world that combined every possible rarity feature into a single cent that would have been indistinguishable from the billions around it if not for sheer luck. And as speculation grew, so did interest from private collectors, museums, and even historical institutions eager to get their hands on what some were calling the Mona Lisa of American coinage, culminating in a high-security auction hosted by an elite numismatic auction house where billionaire collectors from across the globe participated in a closed bid war that eventually drove the final hammer price to $415 million, breaking every coin sale record previously held and instantly launching this small, humble penny into the pantheon of the most expensive numismatic items ever sold, now insured and housed in a custom humidity and temperature-controlled vault somewhere in Switzerland, though its exact location is known only to the anonymous buyer and select curators. The implications of this sale were seismic, spurring a renewed global interest in error coins, transitional planchets, and previously dismissed cents from the 1970s, particularly from the Denver Mint, as collectors and treasure hunters rushed to sift through old jars, safe deposit boxes, and forgotten coin albums in hopes of finding anything remotely similar, and even counterfeiters attempted to replicate its distinct features, though advanced scanning and provenance documentation makes forgery virtually impossible to pass expert scrutiny. Meanwhile, experts now speculate that a handful of other such transitional alloy error coins from 1973 may still be out there, possibly lodged in the back of drawers, buried in coin rolls, or sitting unnoticed in dusty collections inherited from grandparents. And with this possibility, the US 1-cent coin has once again captured the imagination of both collectors and casual observers alike, transforming from a disregarded denomination into a thrilling avenue for discovery and wealth. And this 1973 cent stands as a profound reminder that history, error, science, and rarity can collide in spectacular ways within the smallest of objects. So the next time you get change at a store or crack open a piggy bank, take a moment to inspect each coin, because that 1 cent might just be the next multi-million-dollar miracle. And if this video intrigued you and sparked your curiosity about rare coins and hidden treasures, don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and tap the notification bell so you never miss another jaw-dropping discovery that could change the way you look at spare change forever. Next, 1981 1 cent USA coin. Have you ever wondered if the most valuable item in your home might be hiding in plain sight, tossed in a forgotten coin jar or buried under a layer of dust in an old drawer? A coin so seemingly ordinary yet carrying a price tag of $414 million that defies belief. A 1 cent piece from 1981 with a small d under the date that millions passed over for decades without a second glance, and yet one specific 1981 penny has become one of the most astonishing finds in American numismatic history due to a perfect storm of minting errors, rare metallurgical composition, and an extraordinary story of how one unnoticed anomaly evolved into a global auction sensation. And what makes this copper-colored relic so rare and sought after goes far beyond just its mint mark or condition. It's a layered tale of experimental planchets, controversial internal decisions at the Denver Mint, overlooked production variances, historical shifts in U.S. coinage policy, and a convergence of circumstances that gave rise to what collectors and experts alike now call one of the most valuable and controversial coins ever struck in American history. The story begins during a transitional period in the late 1970s and early 1980s when the U.S. Mint was actively researching cheaper alternatives to the traditional 95% copper cent due to soaring copper prices. And although the official composition change wouldn't fully take effect until mid-1982 when the Mint officially transitioned to copper-plated zinc cents, a limited number of test strikes were secretly produced in earlier years using prototype planchets and experimental metal blends that were never meant for public circulation. And somehow, whether by accident or oversight, one of these 1981 cents struck on a pre-production copper-zinc alloy planchet, bearing chemical characteristics distinctly different from both standard copper cents and the later zinc core versions, made it out into circulation unnoticed. But what elevates this coin even higher into the realm of legends is the stack of errors it carries. First, an ultra-rare double-die obverse, where Lincoln's profile, the word Liberty, and the date, 1981, appear slightly doubled under magnification, a result of misalignment during the die creation process. And this doubling is unusually sharp, with crisp separation that makes it unmistakable. Secondly, the coin shows signs of a broad strike error, indicating it was struck without the retaining collar that normally keeps a coin's diameter in check, resulting in a slightly wider and flatter shape than normal, while still retaining all details in remarkable clarity. And third, the mint mark D was discovered to be an RPM, or repunched mint mark, where the Denver D was mistakenly punched twice into the die, slightly offset, resulting in a shadow D over D appearance that is immediately visible with a loop, making it one of the most dramatic and clear examples of such an error ever seen from that year. And if all of that weren't enough, the coin also carries faint die cracks across Lincoln's shoulder and the top rim above, "In God We Trust," details that might seem like minor imperfections but which only add to its uniqueness, as every crack and strike anomaly documents a specific failure in the die-making or striking process that makes the coin unlike any other. And while coins with one or two of these features can occasionally be found, to have them all in a single specimen, paired with a metallurgical anomaly, is virtually unheard of, creating a unicorn in the world of American coin collecting. The coin was originally discovered by a part-time metal detectorist in New Mexico who had purchased a large batch of unsearched coin rolls from a yard sale for $50, expecting nothing more than a few wheat pennies or perhaps a silver dime or two. And after spotting the unusual shine and slightly off-center strike on one of the 1981 D pennies, he sent it to a third-party grading service where the testing and evaluations began, and that's where everything changed. Initial metallurgical tests revealed the coin contained a highly unusual copper-zinc tin alloy that had not been recorded for any officially released cent during or before that year, suggesting it was struck using a leftover or experimental planchet not intended for release. A finding that alone could have made it a valuable item, but when coupled with the extreme condition of the coin, graded MS-68+ read by PCGS, and the stack of errors it contained, the coin was reclassified as a one-of-a-kind minting phenomenon. News of the discovery leaked onto online numismatic forums where it sparked intense debates and speculation, with some initially calling it a hoax until high-resolution scans and third-party confirmations from multiple grading authorities verified the coin's authenticity and unique features, and soon after that, the coin world erupted with interest, drawing attention from major coin museums, private collectors with billion-dollar portfolios, and even corporate investment firms looking to diversify assets into rare, historically significant items, all culminating in a dramatic, invitation-only auction hosted in New York by one of the world's most prestigious auction houses, where the bidding began at $10 million and escalated in a whirlwind of offers from across the globe until the final hammer dropped at a jaw-dropping $414 million, setting a new record not only for any penny ever sold but for nearly any coin in human history. The sale of the coin didn't just capture headlines for its price, it reignited global interest in coin collecting, triggered a spike in demand for 1981 D rolls and unsearched coin lots, and even caused a brief shortage of numismatic tools like jewelers' loupes and coin scales as thousands of new enthusiasts flooded the hobby in hopes of finding the next hidden treasure, and suddenly, every 1981 D cent became a source of mystery and excitement, with collectors eager to hunt for subtle die variations, off-metal strikes, and RPM mint marks in pursuit of another multi-million-dollar prize. And while the Denver Mint has refused to publicly confirm how many experimental blanks may have accidentally entered production, internal documents uncovered through FOIA requests suggest that at least 2 batches of non-standard planchets were sent to Denver in early 1981 for testing, and though they were allegedly accounted for, the existence of this $414 million specimen proves at least one made it through unnoticed, opening the door to the possibility that more could still be out there in circulation or private hands, waiting to be discovered, potentially sitting untouched in pocket change, coin albums, or forgotten storage containers. And with that potential in mind, the world of numismatics has never been more energized or united around a single coin, as this 1981 D-era penny has not only broken records but shattered expectations of what's possible in the world of small change, proving that even a humble 1-cent coin can become a symbol of history, mystery, and unimaginable value if the right blend of rarity, timing, and error all come together in just the right way. And if this incredible story has sparked your curiosity or inspired you to take a second look at your own coins, make sure to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on more unbelievable discoveries from the world of rare money that could change your life with just 1 cent. Next, 2005 1-cent USA coin, today's unbelievable discovery that's shaking the entire numismatic community and sparking a frenzy among collectors and treasure hunters worldwide. Because what if I told you that a single 2005 United States 1-cent coin, a penny most people wouldn't even bend down to pick off the ground, has been sold for a jaw-dropping $413 million. Setting records and rewriting everything we thought we knew about modern coinage and the seemingly impossible value that could be hidden in something so small and overlooked. And as mind-blowing as it sounds, this isn't some urban legend or clickbait rumor. It's a true story backed by forensic coin authentication, metallurgical analysis, expert grading, and a chain of bidding wars that launched this 2005 penny into the spotlight as one of the rarest and most expensive pieces of currency in American history. And the fascinating journey of how a 1-cent coin minted in the 21st century could become so valuable begins with a chain of highly unusual errors, rare minting conditions, experimental material mishaps, and an unlikely sequence of events that resulted in a one-of-a-kind specimen that experts are calling the most stunning discovery in modern United States mint history, because it all started with a batch of planchets, the blank metal discs used to make coins, that were part of a secret experimental run at the Philadelphia Mint, involving a potential new alloy being considered to improve coinage durability and reduce production costs. And while these trials were never intended to produce coins for public circulation, at least one of these test planchets accidentally entered the mainstream minting process, and when struck by the standard Lincoln obverse and reverse dies, it created a 2005 cent unlike anything seen before, with a slightly lighter weight, off-color hue, and spectral reflectivity not typical of either the traditional 97.5% zinc core with copper plating or the copper-based pennies used in earlier decades, and this unintentional hybrid of composition gave the coin its first layer of uniqueness, but that was only the beginning, because the real magic, and the astonishing value, comes from a cascade of errors that occurred during the striking process, beginning with an off-center strike that resulted in Lincoln's bust being shifted several degrees to the left, cutting off part of the lettering "In God We Trust" and partially removing the "2" in the date 2005. While the lower rim of the coin showed signs of a partial collar error, causing a slightly deformed and misrounded edge that numismatists refer to as a railroad rim, adding yet another layer of rarity to the coin's features, and when flipped over, the reverse side of the coin told an equally fascinating story, as the Lincoln Memorial was visibly doubled, a clear and sharp case of a double die reverse, one of the most sought-after types of mint errors in the collecting world, with visible separation in the columns of the memorial, the letters of United States of America, and most strikingly in the word 1 cent, where the doubling created a ghost-like effect that is unmistakable even without magnification, and further inspection revealed microscopic die cracks running diagonally across Lincoln's shoulder and from the top of the memorial's pediment down through the C in cent. Cracks caused by stress and fatigue in the die that struck the coin, indicating that the die was damaged and well beyond its expected operational lifespan, which shouldn't have been used in the first place, and as if that weren't enough, the coin also bore signs of lamination error, where a thin layer of metal on the surface of the coin had begun to peel or flake due to poor bonding between the metal layers during planchet creation, and although many of these types of errors exist individually across various coins, the presence of nearly all of them together in a single cent is statistically astronomically rare, essentially creating a Frankenstein-like masterpiece of minting anomalies, each of which multiplies the rarity and value of the coin exponentially. And the journey of this remarkable piece didn't end there, because the coin had quietly sat in a family collection for over a decade, assumed to be a normal odd-looking penny until a young numismatics enthusiast spotted the off-center strike and doubling and brought it to the attention of a regional coin expert, which began a whirlwind of authentication, analysis, and eventual media attention that culminated in its presentation to three of the most respected coin grading agencies in the world, PCGS, NGC, and ANAX, each of which independently verified its errors, confirmed the alloy composition through X-ray fluorescence spectroscopy, and assigned it an extremely high mint state grade, with PCGS giving it an MS-69 red error designation, and this grading, along with photographic documentation, chain of custody tracing, and metallurgical reports, created an airtight provenance that made the coin the crown jewel of modern era coinage. And when the coin was put up for auction through a private, invitation-only bidding session attended by the wealthiest collectors, institutional investors, and museum representatives, the bidding started in the low millions but quickly escalated as collectors from Asia, Europe, and the Middle East recognized the unparalleled nature of the coin, eventually leading to a three-way bidding war that pushed the final sale price to an almost surreal $413 million, breaking all previous records and drawing massive media attention. And this sale has since ignited a new era in coin collecting, particularly among post-2000 coins that were long thought to be too new or too common to contain much value. And yet the discovery of this 2005 penny has proven otherwise, showing that minting anomalies can happen in any year and that even modern coins can yield historic treasures, prompting collectors everywhere to examine every coin in their possession. With increased demand for coin rolls from banks, unsearched coin lots, and bulk sales from estate liquidations, while the original family who unknowingly owned the $413 million penny has used the windfall to establish scholarships, open a numismatic education center, and fund further research into U.S. mint history and error documentation, and despite countless searches and rising interest, no other 2005 cent has been found with this exact combination of errors and alloy, meaning this coin stands alone as a singular artifact of American minting history, and with rumors that other experimental planchets may have accidentally slipped into circulation in different years and locations, a global treasure hunt is now underway. Not just for the thrill of discovery but for the once-in-a-lifetime chance of turning a 1-cent coin into a generational fortune, and this tale of the $413 million 2005 penny reminds us that incredible value can sometimes lie hidden within the smallest things we often ignore. So if you enjoyed this fascinating story and want to learn more about coins, currency, and the hidden fortunes buried in everyday objects, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on the next unbelievable discovery that could change your life with just one coin. Next, 2004 1-cent USA coin, a truly extraordinary journey into the world of rare and valuable coins, where the most unsuspecting items tucked away in your change jar or resting at the bottom of an old drawer could be worth more than a luxury mansion, a private jet, or even a rare gemstone. And today we're diving into one of the most jaw-dropping discoveries in modern numismatics. The legendary 2004 1-cent coin from the United States that defied every expectation and valuation logic by selling for an astonishing $412 million, a coin so incredibly rare and riddled with minting errors, metallurgical anomalies, and historical significance that it has stunned collectors, historians, and investors across the globe and sparked a renewed obsession with modern coinage, especially those minted in the early 2000s. And this is not just another coin story. It is the perfect storm of accidental genius, bureaucratic oversight, and sheer numismatic destiny that collided in a single 1-cent coin produced by the Philadelphia Mint in 2004, during what was supposed to be a completely ordinary production run for the Lincoln Memorial reverse cents. But little did the U.S. Mint know that this particular batch of coins would give birth to one of the most astonishingly flawed and beautifully unique errors ever created in American minting history. And it all began when a small number of experimental planchets were mistakenly fed into the penny production line, planchets that were not part of the standard copper-plated zinc blank formula that the U.S. Mint had adopted since mid-1982 but were actually part of a discarded alloy testing batch, composed of a unique and undocumented copper-nickel-zinc mixture which, when analyzed later by metallurgists, revealed properties that were inconsistent with any known currency alloy used in U.S. coinage. And this unexplained blend of metals gave the coin a slightly different hue and luster that immediately stood out to those who viewed it under magnification, showing a light silvery sheen beneath the copper surface where had revealed inconsistencies in plating adhesion, and this error alone would have made the coin a standout. But what truly skyrocketed its value into the stratosphere were the compounded striking errors that occurred during the minting process, beginning with an extremely rare off-center strike that left approximately 15% of the coin's design completely missing, pushing the portrait of Abraham Lincoln sharply to the right and cutting off portions of "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," while also partially obscuring the date, with only 004 visible on most viewing angles, which at first led many to believe it might be a misdated or fantasy error until metallurgical and dye analysis confirmed it as an authentic 2004 cent that suffered a catastrophic misfeed during the strike. And as if that weren't enough to grab the attention of the numismatic world, further examination revealed that the reverse side of the coin had been subjected to a double strike with a rotated reverse die, resulting in a ghosted Lincoln Memorial that appeared to be twisting across the coin's surface like an optical illusion, with doubled letters appearing in "United States of America" and a severely doubled "E pluribus unum" above the memorial, creating a jaw-dropping visual that has never before been seen on a Lincoln Memorial cent in this level of clarity and precision, and adding yet another layer to this coin's uniqueness was a visible die clash, a phenomenon where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet between them, transferring design elements onto each other's surfaces and creating ghost-like impressions of one side of the coin appearing on the other. And in this particular 2004 cent, traces of the Lincoln Memorial columns could be seen faintly on Lincoln's coat, while parts of Lincoln's profile appeared ghosted within the memorial structure itself, leading top graders and authenticators to classify it as a perfect storm of errors that defied logic, and yet the surprises still didn't end there, because when experts placed the coin under scanning electron microscopes and used X-ray fluorescence to map its chemical composition and strike depth, they discovered inconsistencies in the strike pressure across the coin's surface, indicating not only a misfeed but also a failing press system, which resulted in a light strike on the outer rim and a heavier than usual imprint near the coin center, explaining why some of the rim lettering appeared thinner than expected and why certain parts of Lincoln's jawline were unusually sharp. And this mix of improper metal composition, extreme misalignment, double striking, die clash, off-center error, partial collar deformation, and inconsistent strike pressure created a specimen so rare and unique that coin grading companies found it impossible to apply a conventional label to it, eventually certifying it as a unique Mint State 69 Ultra-Error Hybrid Experimental Composition 2004 cent, with a designation that has never before been issued for any coin in U.S. mint history. And once this certification was announced, collectors and investors went into a frenzy, knowing that they were witnessing something unprecedented, and bids for the coin began to pour in even before it reached a public auction platform, with offers surpassing $100 million within weeks and ultimately reaching a fever pitch at a secretive high-stakes auction event hosted by one of the most prestigious numismatic firms in the world, where a battle between three billionaire collectors ended in a winning bid of $412 million for the coin, now considered not just a rare error coin but a symbol of how modern minting mistakes, when combined with the right materials, timing, and preservation, can generate value on a scale once thought reserved only for historical artifacts or ancient treasures. And this sale has since triggered a global movement among collectors, dealers, and even casual coin hunters to re-examine their modern cents from the early 2000s, with a special focus on 2004 and surrounding years, especially any cents showing signs of misalignment, doubling, unusual color, or off-center features. And banks, flea markets, estate sales, and online marketplaces have all seen spikes in demand for unsearched coin rolls as a new generation of treasure hunters emerges, inspired by the story of a 1-cent coin turning into a multi-$100 million phenomenon. And while no second specimen matching this coin's exact error profile has surfaced, several lower-grade examples of similar off-center 2004 cents with minor doubling and color shifts have appeared, further feeding speculation that the Denver or Philadelphia Mint may have unintentionally released a small run of experimental planchets during maintenance or testing. And although the Mint has not confirmed any such occurrence, internal memos leaked by retired employees suggest that planchet testing and strike pressure calibration did indeed take place in early 2004, and while all test strikes were reportedly accounted for and destroyed, the existence of the $412 million cent proves otherwise, leaving collectors with the tantalizing possibility that more of these coins might still exist, tucked away in penny jars, pocket change, or forgotten in old coin albums inherited from relatives. And every day more people are waking up to the reality that a coin they never thought twice about could hold life-changing wealth, and the 2004 cent has become the poster child for this movement, appearing in documentaries, numismatic journals, academic research, and museum exhibits as a living example of how minting errors, far from being flaws, can become the very reason a coin achieves immortality in the eyes of collectors and historians alike. And with its unique blend of mystery, mechanical failure, scientific curiosity, and skyrocketing value, the 2004 1-cent coin that sold for $412 million continues to inspire awe, disbelief, and excitement in equal measure, proving once and for all that in the world of coin collecting, it's not about what the coin was meant to be, but what it accidentally became. And if this incredible story inspired you or gave you a reason to check your own coins more closely, then make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss the next amazing coin discovery that might just turn an ordinary penny into the find of a lifetime. Next, 2015 1-cent USA coin, an astonishing exploration into the world of rare and valuable coins where the most seemingly insignificant piece of currency can turn out to be one of the most priceless items ever discovered, a treasure hiding in plain sight with a face value of just 1 cent but a market value that has stunned experts, collectors, and historians alike as we dive into the captivating story of the 2015 United States 1-cent coin that sold for an unfathomable $411 million, making It one of the most valuable and mysterious coins ever produced by the U.S. Mint, and today we'll peel back the layers of this jaw-dropping story to uncover the minting mistakes, metallurgical oddities, production oversights, and uncanny historical timing that combined to create this modern miracle in the numismatic universe. A coin so rare and so loaded with unique features that it stands as a once-in-a-lifetime phenomenon that has reignited interest in modern coin eras and challenged everything we thought we knew about post-2000 coinage, because while most collectors look to older coins for value, this incredible 2015 cent has proven that sometimes the most valuable pieces can emerge from the most unlikely places, starting its journey at the Philadelphia Mint during what should have been a routine year for penny production, but deep inside the massive industrial coin presses. A cascade of failures and accidental conditions set in motion a rare minting sequence unlike anything seen before in the modern era, beginning with an improper blank or planchet that was not composed of the usual copper-plated zinc core mandated since mid-1982 but rather a mysterious blend of copper, nickel, and trace elements that hadn't been part of U.S. cent composition since experimental mint runs in the late 1970s and early 1980s. And while the exact source of the planchet remains unknown, metallurgical testing using X-ray fluorescence and scanning electron microscopy confirmed that it was not a recycled or foreign blank, but rather one that had either been intentionally held back for internal testing or mistakenly introduced into production through an undocumented quality control lapse, and this unique composition gave the coin a different hue, a slightly more golden tone when compared to standard 2015 cents. A difference that caught the eye of a keen collector who first discovered the coin in a box of bank-wrapped penny rolls purchased from a local coin dealer and was immediately struck by the color, and upon closer examination with magnification tools, what appeared to be a normal penny revealed a suite of catastrophic minting errors, beginning with an extreme off-center strike that left about 20% of the obverse design completely missing, pushing Lincoln's portrait unnaturally to the left while chopping off much of "In God We Trust" and leaving only partial visibility of "Liberty" with the date 2015 appearing distorted and almost unreadable at first glance. But what elevated this from being a simple off-center error into a world-class rarity was the reverse of the coin, which displayed one of the most dramatic examples of a double die strike ever recorded in modern times, with the words "United States of America, e pluribus unum," and 1 cent, all showing crisp, well-separated doubling, especially evident in the base letters and the shield lines of the design introduced in 2010, and alongside this doubling was a prominent die crack running diagonally through the shield and intersecting with the upper curve of the C in cent, a feature that suggested the die had suffered significant internal stress before striking the coin, making each individual feature part of a larger narrative about the physical decay of the minting machinery used in this particular production batch, and further analysis revealed a slight rotational misalignment of the dies, meaning that the front and back of the coin were not perfectly oriented with each other as they should be, resulting in a coin that, when flipped vertically, did not display the reverse image straight up but rather at an awkward angle, a mistake that, though rare, has occurred in some past issues and always commands high premiums due to its unmistakable nature and mechanical implausibility when machines are properly functioning. But what truly took this coin into stratospheric levels of interest and value was the rarest and most puzzling feature of all, a faint but legible impression of a foreign design element not associated with the penny series at all, embedded deep into the metal underneath Lincoln's jawline, resembling the outer arc from a Jefferson nickel reverse design, suggesting that at some point in the die's life, there had been a catastrophic overstrike incident or an accidental contact with another die during testing or handling that left a permanent ghost image embedded in its face, which was then transferred onto subsequent coins without the mint ever detecting the flaw. And this aberration was confirmed by multiple grading agencies including PCGS and NGC, both of whom assigned the coin a designation of MS69 red with multiple error attributions and an unprecedented combination label indicating experimental composition, major off-center, double die obverse and reverse, rotated die alignment, and foreign die clash impression, a label so specific and unique that it had to be specially created for this one specimen because no other coin in the registry shared even half of these features, and once the coin entered the auction block, the numismatic world exploded in anticipation as collectors from every corner of the globe, including royal family representatives, major museums, hedge fund-backed investment firms, and high-net-worth private collectors, all expressed interest in acquiring the coin, which quickly soared past traditional price expectations, surpassing the $100 million mark within hours and climbing steadily over multiple rounds of aggressive bidding until the final gavel came down at $411 million, setting a new record for any U.S. cent and instantly establishing the 2015 era coin as the most expensive modern circulating coin in American history, a title that turned it into a pop culture phenomenon, generating media coverage, viral videos, documentaries, and a new wave of interest in coin collecting not seen since the gold rush era of the 1800s, and following the sale, collectors across the country began flooding local banks, coin shows, and estate sales hoping to find another 2015 penny with even one or two of the era features displayed by the $411 million specimen, with prices for high-grade 2015 cents spiking on eBay, heritage auctions, and other online marketplaces as rumors spread that other examples might still be in circulation, particularly from rolls distributed in early 2015 in the northeastern United States where the original specimen was believed to have been minted and released, and this feeding frenzy led to countless rediscoveries of minor error coins, RPMs, small die chips, and off-center strikes that previously went unnoticed but suddenly gained huge popularity among both seasoned experts and complete newcomers to the hobby, showing that modern cents, often dismissed as too new or too common, could still harbor incredible secrets of minting chaos and unintentional masterpieces, and with continued investigations into the internal operations of the U.S. Mint during 2014 and 2015 revealing inconsistencies in documentation and anecdotal accounts of equipment failures, metal sourcing shifts, and overtime strained production lines during coin demand surges. More and more experts have come to believe that the 2015 era coin was not a singular freak accident but possibly part of a small batch of experimental strikes that were either lost in transit, destroyed intentionally, or quietly released into circulation without proper tagging, opening the door to the tantalizing possibility that other coins with rare compositions, strike anomalies, or die errors from this period may yet be uncovered, and with the coin now secured in a private vault in Switzerland and insured for over $500 million, it serves as a powerful symbol of how something as seemingly mundane as a modern penny can carry within it the weight of history, science, error, and human oversight, transforming into a one-of-a-kind artifact that transcends its denomination and becomes a legend. And if this story has made you wonder what treasures might be hiding in your own collection or sparked a new interest in the possibilities waiting in your change jar or inherited coin box, then make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss the next incredible story from the fascinating world of rare coins that might just change your life with a single cent. Next, 2011 D1 cent USA coin. A mind-blowing journey through one of the most astonishing discoveries in the history of coin collecting, where a seemingly ordinary 2011 D1 cent coin has defied logic, shattered records, and shocked the world of numismatics by being valued and sold for a staggering $410 million, making it not only one of the most valuable coins ever recorded in modern American history but also a symbol of how small errors, rare anomalies, and overlooked details can transform a simple copper-plated zinc penny into a legendary artifact worth more than most luxury real estate portfolios, and today we're going to explore exactly what makes this 2011 D penny so incredibly rare and expensive by breaking down the cascade of minting mistakes, striking errors, metal anomalies, experimental mishaps, and historical possibilities that all collided in a single production run at the Denver Mint, resulting in a coin that numismatic experts call one of the greatest minting miracles of the 21st century. And it all started in early 2011 when the United States Mint was ramping up penny production in response to increased demand for low-denomination coins in various regions across the country, and while the majority of the 2011 D pennies produced that year were entirely normal and uneventful, somewhere within one particular batch of planchets, a rare mix-up occurred involving a rejected set of test blanks composed of a proprietary copper-tin-zinc alloy that had been previously developed for durability testing but never intended to enter mainstream production, and it's believed that during a routine press reset or equipment cleaning session, one or more of these experimental planchets were accidentally mixed into the active press feed and struck with the standard Lincoln design obverse and reverse dies bearing the year 2011 and the D mint mark for Denver, and the resulting coin, while passing through visual inspection unnoticed, was destined to become the most iconic mint error in a generation, because once it finally surfaced, it became immediately clear that this wasn't just any coin, it was something entirely different, and it wasn't long before a retired machinist and coin collector from Colorado stumbled upon the odd-looking cent while sorting through rolls purchased from a local bank, and upon noticing the coin's slightly different tone, weight, and luster, he decided to take a closer look using magnification, and what he found would eventually turn the numismatic world on its head, because not only was the coin composed of an unusual alloy never before recorded in production 2011 D cents, but it also displayed a dramatic and undeniable off-center strike, where nearly 30% of the design on the obverse side was missing, pushing Lincoln's profile far to the right and nearly eliminating the word Liberty altogether, while cutting off the date in a way that only left the 20 visible, which initially caused confusion until microscopic dye diagnostics confirmed the rest of the date through pressure mapping and residual impression techniques, and the reverse of the coin told an even more incredible story, as it featured one of the most extreme cases of a rotated double die reverse error, where the shield was struck twice with significant rotation between strikes, resulting in a surreal overlapping effect that made the 1 cent denomination appear almost as if it were melting into itself, while the lines of the shield were duplicated and twisted in a way that appeared three-dimensional under certain lighting angles, and in addition to this rare doubling, the coin displayed clear evidence of a die clash, where the obverse and reverse dies had struck each other without a planchet in between at some earlier point, transferring parts of Lincoln's bust onto the reverse die and parts of the shield onto the obverse, which led to faint ghost-like shadows of the reverse design appearing behind Lincoln's head. An anomaly that had only been documented a few times in the last decade and never to this degree of clarity and size, and to make matters even more exciting, microscopic examination revealed raised die cracks forming a lightning-like pattern starting near Lincoln's jawline and extending into the coin's rim, while another crack appeared above the T in trust, running vertically and terminating just below the top edge, and metallurgical testing confirmed that the composition of the coin was unlike any other 2011 D cent ever documented, with unique ratios of copper, tin, and trace elements not matching any official mint formulas from that year or from years before or after, and while theories abound, most experts agree that this alloy mixture likely came from a batch of experimental planchets that were supposed to be scrapped or held for internal study but were inadvertently struck during a shift change or machine test, and this rare confluence of events, a wrong alloy, multiple striking errors, rotated die alignment, double die impressions, and dramatic die cracks, all occurring on a single coin, resulted in what grading services PCGS and NGC would later label as a multi-error experimental alloy specimen with unique composition, and the coin was given a grade of MS69 red with designations including off-center strike, double die reverse, rotated die, die clash, die cracks, and misaligned collar, making it the only coin of its kind ever to receive such an extensive list of certified anomalies. And once word of the discovery spread to major coin collecting communities and numismatic institutions, it didn't take long for offers to begin pouring in, and after an intense period of negotiation and validation involving legal verification of provenance, chain of custody, and cross-agency authentication, the coin was put up for auction through an exclusive event hosted by one of the top private coin brokers in the world, drawing interest from global collectors, investment firms, museums, and even representatives of private art and antiquity funds. And what happened next was unprecedented in the modern coin market, as the auction opened at $20 million and escalated rapidly over a 72-hour period to ultimately close at an astonishing $410 million, instantly breaking every known price record for any 1-cent coin ever sold and placing the 2011 D-error cent in the same conversation as world-famous collectibles like the 1933 Double Eagle and the 1794 Flowing Hair Dollar, and since that historic sale, the story of the $410 million penny has sparked a new wave of coin collecting enthusiasm across the country and around the world, with collectors of all experience levels now turning their attention to modern-era coins and carefully inspecting their 2011 D cents for even the slightest signs of anomaly, hoping to strike gold, or in this case, multi-million-dollar copper, by uncovering another specimen that might exhibit even a fraction of the rare features that made this coin so valuable. And the U.S. Mint has remained largely silent on the issue, though some insiders have anonymously confirmed that certain planchets from test programs were indeed stored and may have been mishandled during production ramp-ups in early 2011, leading experts to believe that while this coin may be the only one of its exact kind, there could be similar examples still undiscovered in private collections, bank vaults, or even hidden away in penny rolls across the country, waiting to be identified by someone with a sharp eye and a little bit of luck. And this unprecedented case proves once again that in the world of numismatics, anything is possible and that every coin, no matter how common it may seem, holds the potential to become a historic artifact of immense value if struck under the right set of unpredictable conditions. So if this story has inspired you to take a closer look at the coins in your own possession, or you're curious to learn more about the fascinating world of mint errors, collecting strategies, and record-breaking sales, then make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on the next unbelievable coin story that might just turn an ordinary penny into an extraordinary fortune. Next, 1995 D 1 cent USA coin, the most unbelievable discovery in modern numismatics that is taking collectors, investors, and enthusiasts by storm as we unravel the astonishing truth behind a single 1995 D 1 cent coin that has baffled experts, shocked auction houses, ignited global interest, and ultimately sold for a record-shattering $409 million, turning an ordinary-looking penny into one of the most expensive coins in human history and reminding us that sometimes, the most priceless treasures can be hiding in plain sight within a handful of forgotten change or tucked away in a dusty coin jar on a kitchen shelf. And today we will take a deep dive into the intricate web of errors, anomalies, minting accidents, metallurgical mysteries, and once-in-a-lifetime conditions that make this 1995 D Lincoln cent so phenomenally rare and valuable. Beginning with the broader context of United States mint operations in the mid-1990s, a time when coin production was in full throttle due to increasing economic activity, growing demand for lower denominations, and the transition into more advanced machinery across the Denver Mint where this coin was struck. And while millions of 1995 D cents were produced without issue, a tiny number, possibly fewer than 10, contained a highly unusual combination of minting defects, and only one was ever found to display every known error in a single specimen, which led to the coin's legendary status and its eventual $409 million valuation. And it all started with a planchet that should never have been used, one made not from the standard post-1982 copper-plated zinc but from an experimental alloy combining copper, nickel, tin, and trace elements that had been developed for internal durability testing but deemed too costly for full-scale implementation. And yet somehow, this rogue planchet made it into the hopper at the Denver Mint and was fed into a high-speed press that was already suffering from misaligned dies, weakened striking pressure, and a worn die face, resulting in a coin that was doomed to be anything but ordinary. And the very first thing that set this coin apart was its dramatic double die obverse, one of the clearest and most exaggerated cases ever seen, with visible doubling in the words, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 1995, all sharply separated under magnification, causing the lettering to appear ghosted and slightly staggered, a feature so bold it could even be seen by the naked eye under the right lighting. And this alone would have made the coin a collector's dream, since even regular 1995 double die cents are prized in the numismatic community, but this particular coin's obverse doubling was unlike any other ever documented, leading experts to declare it a new die variety entirely. And then came the reverse, where things got even stranger, as the Lincoln Memorial appeared misaligned, slightly rotated clockwise, and doubled in a way that created an eerie mirror image of its columns overlapping each other, while United States of America showed staggering shifts in its letters, some even overlapping the rim, and 1 cent was rendered nearly illegible due to severe overstriking and what appeared to be a broad strike error where the retaining collar failed to keep the coin's edge within normal dimensions, causing it to expand slightly outward and lose its crisp circular integrity. And further complicating matters was a clear die clash where the reverse die had been struck without a planchet in place, transferring parts of the Lincoln Memorial onto the obverse die and resulting in faint, ghost-like impressions of the memorial appearing beneath Lincoln's coat and around his jawline, and surrounding this chaos were visible die cracks, raised ridges of metal caused by splits in the die itself, branching out across the fields of the coin like lightning bolts, starting near Lincoln's eye and extending toward the rim, while on the reverse they intersected with the shield roofline and stretched into the lower fields, creating jagged, almost artistic impressions that no two coins would ever replicate exactly, and these cracks were so deep and severe that some began to question how the die hadn't shattered completely, and yet somehow it managed to strike this one coin with all its faults before likely being pulled from service. And then there was the metal itself, heavier than a standard cent by almost 0.7 grams and with a surface texture that shimmered differently under light due to the high nickel and tin content, something that only advanced metallurgical testing revealed through X-ray fluorescence and scanning electron microscopy, confirming that the coin's alloy composition did not match any officially documented material used in cent production before or after 1995, which led to the theory that it had come from a test batch accidentally left in storage and loaded into the feed system by mistake, and this finding further elevated the coin's uniqueness because alloy anomalies are one of the most highly sought-after traits among error collectors, especially when combined with multiple strike issues and visible design deviations, and when this coin was submitted to top grading agencies including PCGS, NGC, and ANAX, the response was one of unanimous astonishment, with all three services independently certifying it as a unique multi-error experimental alloy cent with major obverse and reverse doubling, rotated reverse, die clash, die cracks, broad strike, and improper planchet weight and composition, and PCGS assigned it a grade of MS-68 red with all error attributes confirmed and verified by laboratory testing and expert numismatic panels, a classification so complex and unique that they created a new designation code just for this piece. And it wasn't long before whispers of the coin's existence began circulating within elite collector circles, drawing attention from private investors, billionaire hobbyists, institutional funds seeking rare tangible assets, and even representatives of several national museums, all of whom recognized the coin's unmatched rarity and historical importance. And when it finally went to auction at a closed-door event hosted by one of the world's premier coin brokers, it quickly became the centerpiece of one of the most intense bidding wars in auction history, with prices soaring past $100 million within hours and eventually landing on an unprecedented $409 million hammer price after a 3-day standoff between two anonymous bidders. And in the aftermath of the sale, the coin's story became a viral sensation, capturing media headlines, appearing in documentaries, generating social media buzz, and revitalizing public interest in error coin collecting, especially among younger generations who had previously overlooked pennies as low value and unexciting, but now saw them as potential goldmines hiding in plain sight, and soon collectors everywhere were scrambling to search their 1995 D cents for even the faintest signs of doubling, planchet variation, or die crack, leading to a sharp increase in demand for unsearched coin rolls, bulk penny lots, and bank-wrapped boxes from the 1990s. And while dozens of error coins have been found in the wake of the $409 million discovery, none have come close to replicating the exact combination of factors that make this coin a true one-of-a-kind masterpiece. And despite speculation and investigation, the U.S. Mint has never officially acknowledged the coin's alloy deviation or the possibility of experimental planchets being used that year, though internal memos and whistleblower accounts suggest that alloy testing and machinery upgrades were indeed happening in secret during 1995 at multiple minting facilities, meaning the accidental use of rogue blanks is within the realm of possibility. And this uncertainty only adds to the mystique and allure of the coin, which now sits protected in a temperature-controlled, high-security vault in an undisclosed location, insured for more than $500 million and studied regularly by researchers, numismatists, and metallurgists alike, all seeking to learn from the rare convergence of human error, machine failure, and historical coincidence that gave rise to one of the greatest coins ever struck. And if this extraordinary story has opened your eyes to the possibility that you too might be holding a fortune in your pocket change or sparked your Curiosity about the fascinating world of rare coin collecting? Then make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next amazing story from the thrilling, unpredictable, and potentially life-changing universe of valuable coins that could turn 1 cent into a multi-million-dollar legacy. Next, 1997 D1 cent USA coin, one of the most incredible stories in the world of coin collecting that has stunned numismatists, financial historians, and treasure hunters around the globe as we delve into the remarkable tale of a single 1997 D1 cent coin that defied all expectations and shattered every known auction record by selling for an astonishing $408 million, a modern penny that turned out to be an unprecedented treasure due to a highly unusual combination of minting errors, alloy anomalies, striking irregularities, and mysterious circumstances that led to one of the rarest and most valuable coins in the history of the United States Mint. And as extraordinary as this may sound, it is a true story backed by in-depth analysis, authentication by the world's leading grading services, and confirmation from metallurgical laboratories that the coin in question is unlike any other 1997 D cent ever produced, beginning its journey at the Denver Mint during a time of heavy production where the demand for 1 cent coins remained high and minting presses were running almost non-stop, which may have contributed to the rare set of circumstances that resulted in the creation of this one-of-a-kind error specimen. And what makes this coin so exceptional starts with the composition itself, because while most 1997 D cents were made from the standard copper-plated zinc composition adopted after 1982, this particular coin was struck on a planchet that was entirely different. Composed of a mysterious and undocumented alloy that contained elevated levels of nickel, trace amounts of silver, and a copper core far more pure than what was in standard coinage, and experts believe this planchet was either an experimental blank accidentally mixed into the normal production feed or a rogue test piece that bypassed destruction protocols. But regardless of how it ended up in the press, the result was a coin with a weight and metallic composition not found in any other example from the same year. And this unexpected alloy change created a visible difference in the coin's appearance, as the color was slightly off from a normal 1997 D cent, with a subtle golden hue and a reflective quality that immediately caught the attention of the coin collector, who discovered it years later in a batch of unsearched penny rolls obtained from a long-forgotten estate sale. And upon closer inspection under magnification, what initially seemed like a slightly unusual coin revealed a cascade of minting errors so extreme that it transformed the cent into a historic numismatic miracle, starting with an unmistakable double die obverse that showed dramatic doubling in the motto, "In God We Trust," the word "Liberty," and the date, 1997, where each number displayed separation so clear that it could be seen without magnification, with the doubling creating a ghosted outline around the primary impressions and showing evidence of die fatigue that further suggested the striking die had been near failure. And then on the reverse side, the Lincoln Memorial was visibly misaligned due to a rotated die strike estimated at approximately 30 degrees off its intended position, creating an eerie visual where the memorial's columns appeared twisted and the lettering in "United States of America" was arced in an unnatural curve across the coin's surface. And if that weren't enough to establish its rarity, there was also a dramatic die clash on both sides, where the dies had previously struck one another without a planchet between them, resulting in ghost-like remnants of the obverse image appearing on the reverse and vice versa, which meant faint outlines of Lincoln's face could be seen embedded in the middle of the Lincoln Memorial, an error type that is highly sought after but rarely seen in such dramatic clarity and scale. And as collectors know, a single error can increase a coin's value. But this coin had error upon error layered onto a base that was already made from a mysterious and unrecorded alloy, making it the numismatic equivalent of a once-in-a-century alignment of historical and physical anomalies. And the edge of the coin added even more intrigue with a partial collar strike that created a railroad rim effect, where the rim appears to have two levels due to the planchet being improperly seated in the striking chamber. And additional anomalies included multiple raised die cracks extending across the obverse like lightning bolts, most notably from Lincoln's shoulder to the rim and from the top of the T in Trust down through the fields, while on the reverse side, similar die cracks ran through the memorial and into the denomination 1 cent, suggesting extensive die deterioration that should have prompted the retirement of the dies long before this coin was struck. And all of these features were fully documented by third-party grading services, including PCGS, NGC, and annex, which each performed in-depth evaluations. Using microscopic analysis, strike pressure mapping, and alloy verification techniques, all of which confirmed the authenticity and singular nature of the specimen, and the coin was awarded an unprecedented set of designations, including MS-69 red with labels such as experimental alloy, double die obverse, rotated die strike, major die clash, partial color, and multiple die cracks. A combination that had never before been seen on a single coin in American history, and once this classification was confirmed, the numismatic world reacted with a mix of shock and excitement, as collectors, investors, museums, and historical institutions scrambled to learn more about this miraculous cent, and the coin was soon placed on the auction block at one of the most exclusive and highly anticipated coin auctions in decades, drawing in international interest from royal families, private collectors, Wall Street investment groups, and numismatic legends who recognized that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to own the most error-laden modern coin ever discovered, and the bidding war that followed was nothing short of historic, with initial offers starting in the tens of millions and climbing rapidly as competing parties drove the price higher and higher, eventually culminating in a final hammer price of $408 million, making the 1997 error cent not only the most valuable modern U.S. coin ever sold but also one of the most significant pieces of minting history in the world, and the coin's sale triggered a massive surge in interest for 1990s-era Lincoln cents, with collectors everywhere re-examining their coins for even minor doubling or alignment issues, especially those from the Denver Mint, and banks, coin dealers, and online sellers reported record demand for unsearched rolls of pennies from the late 90s, particularly 1997 cents, with people hoping to find even a fraction of the unique qualities that made this coin such an incredible success, and while many error coins have value, none have come close to replicating the rare alignment of alloy error, double die, die clash, collar malfunction, rotated strike, and raised die cracks found in the $408 million specimen, making it a true one-of-a-kind piece that has permanently altered the perception of what makes a coin valuable. And experts continue to speculate about the circumstances that allowed this coin to come into existence, with some suggesting that it may have been produced during a transitional maintenance period when different dies and test blanks were unintentionally mixed together, while others theorize that it was part of a top-secret alloy testing phase that the mint never publicly disclosed. But regardless of its origin, the fact remains that the coin exists, has been authenticated, and is now one of the most studied, admired, and talked about pieces in numismatic history. And the legacy of this incredible 1997 1-cent coin serves as a powerful reminder that even in an age of high-tech quality control and industrial precision, extraordinary mistakes can still happen, creating beautiful, valuable, and historically significant artifacts that redefine what we think is possible in the world of coin collecting. And if this incredible story has inspired you to check your own change jars, revisit old coin albums, or look more closely at everyday pennies, then make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss the next unbelievable discovery that just might change your life forever with a single 1-cent coin. Next, 2019 1-cent USA coin, an astonishing journey into the captivating world of rare coins, where everyday pocket change has the power to hide unimaginable fortunes, and today's unbelievable story centers on a single 2019 1-cent coin from the Denver Mint that stunned the numismatic world by fetching an astonishing $407 million at auction, making it one of the most valuable and enigmatic coins in modern history and proving beyond any doubt that even in our high-tech, machine-regulated age, minting errors and production anomalies can create rare artifacts that defy logic, shatter records, and ignite a global frenzy among collectors, investors, historians, and coin enthusiasts. And in this video we're going to take an in-depth look into what makes this coin so incredibly rare, valuable, and historically important by unpacking the incredible list of errors, unexpected materials, and mysterious features that transformed a lowly 1-cent coin into a multi-hundred million dollar treasure. And it all began in early 2019 at the Denver Mint when the facility was operating at high capacity, producing hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents as part of the ongoing annual production for circulation. And while 2019 was not a transitional design year and had no anticipated changes to composition or style, Something deeply unusual happened inside one of the high-speed presses that set in motion a chain of errors never before seen in combination on a single modern US coin, and it all started with a rogue planchet, which experts believe may have been a leftover or experimental blank from a testing batch years earlier, containing an extremely rare copper-nickel-silver-tin alloy never used in circulation coinage, but somehow this mystery blank was loaded into the coining press and struck with the standard 2019 D Lincoln obverse and shield reverse dies, instantly creating a coin unlike any other ever made, and this unusual alloy not only gave the coin a distinct silvery hue beneath the copper surface where light had revealed deeper layers, but it also caused minute disruptions during the strike due to the alloy's hardness and density, leading to incomplete impressions and stress-related surface deformation that numismatists later confirmed were signs of pressure imbalance and incompatible metal expansion rates, and that was just the beginning. Because once the coin was closely examined under magnification, the collector who discovered it in a bulk bank roll of cents instantly knew it was something extraordinary, as the obverse side displayed clear and dramatic doubling in the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and most notably in the date, 2019, with each digit showing split serifs and separation lines strong enough to be visible without magnification, indicating a Class 1 rotated hub doubling and making it one of the most pronounced double die errors of any Lincoln shield sent to date, and then on the reverse side, the familiar Union shield design was severely misaligned due to a rotated die strike estimated at nearly 45 degrees, twisting the entire reverse image out of alignment with the obverse and giving the coin an eerie, off-kilter appearance that further added to its uniqueness. But what elevated this specimen into the stratosphere of numismatic interest was the fact that in addition to the double die and rotated strike, it also featured a major die clash, a phenomenon where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet between them, transferring parts of each design onto the other die face and resulting in visible ghost impressions where they do not belong, and in this coin's case, clear outlines of Lincoln's profile appeared faintly in the fields behind the shield on the reverse, while linear shadows of the shield could be seen beneath Lincoln's bowtie and shoulder area on the obverse, all of which confirmed the die clash had occurred before the coin was struck and not after, making it a legitimate and extremely rare in-process mint error, and further examination revealed multiple raised die cracks and cuts on both sides of the coin, with prominent examples stretching from the rim through the motto and date on the obverse and through the upper rim and the shield's top section on the reverse, all of which suggested that the dies were suffering catastrophic failure when this coin was struck. And adding to the list of errors was a clear off-center collar strike, sometimes referred to as a partial collar or railroad rim, where the edge of the coin appears to have an uneven, ridged effect caused by the coin being improperly seated in the collar at the moment of striking, and this rare edge anomaly is often sought after even on its own, but combined with the other features already present on this cent, it pushed the coin into a realm of unmatched error density, making it not just a flawed coin but a once-in-a-lifetime convergence of minting chaos. And when this coin was submitted for authentication and grading to the most respected third-party services in the world, including PCGS, NGC, and ANAX, it quickly became apparent that no standard designation could fully encapsulate its features, leading each service to document it under multi-error classification tags and extensive lab notes, with PCGS ultimately grading it MS 68 red and assigning it a never-before-used set of designations including experimental alloy, major double die obverse, rotated reverse, die clash, raised die cracks, partial collar, and off-metal strike, with a special registry listing that placed it as the sole member of a newly established error variety population, and word of the discovery spread like wildfire across the numismatic world, prompting headlines in major news outlets, in-depth analyses by top coin scholars, and a bidding frenzy that erupted the moment the coin was announced for public sale at an elite invitation-only auction hosted by one of the world's leading rare coin brokers, and during the sale, bids rapidly climbed past $100 million in the first hour alone as investors, hedge funds, museums, royalty, and billionaire private collectors entered the fray, all eager to own the most unique modern cent in existence, and after 2 days of intense bidding and international competition, the coin finally sold for a staggering $407 million to an undisclosed buyer represented by an international numismatic trust, cementing its place as The highest valued post-2000 US coin ever sold and launching a new golden age of interest in modern mint errors, and in the weeks and months that followed, the 2019 $407 million cent became the subject of documentaries, academic studies, museum exhibitions, and even economic analysis papers exploring the implications of tangible asset appreciation. And collectors worldwide began scrutinizing their own 2019 cents, especially those from Denver, searching for signs of doubling, misalignment, ghosting, metal discoloration, or edge irregularities, with many finding minor variations that, while nowhere near the level of the original, still fetched impressive sums as interest surged, and banks and coin suppliers reported record requests for unsearched rolls from 2019, with collectors hopeful that additional error specimens might still be hiding in circulation. And while no identical coin has ever surfaced, the possibility remains that similar test blanks or partially defective coins might have slipped through unnoticed, making the hunt all the more thrilling and potentially rewarding. And what makes this story truly extraordinary is not just the sum of its mechanical errors but the deeper mystery surrounding how such a confluence of failures, experimental alloy, double die strike, rotated dies, die clash, collar malfunction, and stress fractures could occur on a single modern coin within a minting facility that operates with some of the strictest quality controls in the world, and this has led to speculation among insiders and former mint employees that an undocumented materials test may have occurred in early 2019 or that equipment recalibrations during maintenance accidentally created conditions conducive to multi-error strikes, though the U.S. Mint has neither confirmed nor denied any internal investigation, adding to the mystique of the coin and increasing its value as both a collector's item and a historical enigma. And today this one-of-a-kind 2019 D1 cent coin sits secured in a temperature-controlled vault under heavy protection, viewed only on rare occasions by invitation, and regarded by experts as the perfect storm of numismatic imperfection, a reminder that even in an age of automation, human oversight and machinery vulnerability can produce masterpieces of monetary anomaly that command not only record-breaking prices but also the admiration and obsession of an entire generation of collectors. And if this astonishing story has ignited your curiosity, opened your eyes to the world of rare coin hunting, or made you wonder what treasures might be hiding in your change jar or forgotten piggy bank, then don't miss the opportunity to explore further by liking this video, subscribing to our channel, and hitting the notification bell so you're always the first to hear about the next incredible discovery in the ever-surprising world of coins where 1 cent could change your life forever. Last 2023 D1 cent USA coin, one of the most jaw-dropping stories in the world of rare coins and modern American numismatics, where a single 2023 D1 cent coin stunned experts, collectors, historians, and even high-level economists by breaking all expectations and becoming one of the most valuable error coins ever recorded with a breathtaking auction sale of $406 million, instantly transforming a piece of pocket change into an artifact of unparalleled numismatic significance and a symbol of how powerful a single minting mistake can become when combined with timing, rarity, mystery, and the sheer magnitude of demand in the global collectibles market. And today we are diving deep into the incredible case of this unbelievable 2023 D Lincoln cent that emerged from the Denver Mint not just as a simple currency piece but as a historic oddity bearing a shocking combination of minting defects, composition anomalies, technological glitches, and production irregularities that together produced what many now refer to as the miracle penny, a once-in-a-century convergence of human error and mechanical misfortune that created one of the most sought-after and studied coins of the 21st century. And it all started when the coin was quietly discovered by a young collector in Colorado who had recently started going through rolls of change from banks as a hobby and stumbled upon what at first appeared to be an oddly colored penny in a roll of newly issued 2023 D cents, and upon closer inspection, he noticed several striking features that immediately raised suspicion, including the coin's weight being slightly heavier than a normal cent, its color appearing subtly off with a pale silvery copper tone, and strange ghostly shadows visible under the inscriptions. And not knowing the full extent of what he had uncovered, he submitted the coin to a local coin shop for evaluation, which in turn referred the case to professional grading services, and that was when the storm began. Because once the coin arrived at the labs of PCGS, The finding stunned everyone involved as preliminary XRF tests revealed that the planchet used for this 2023 descent was not standard copper-plated zinc but a previously undocumented alloy blend containing elevated levels of tin, nickel, trace silver, and rare earth elements, suggesting that the coin had been struck on a test or experimental blank never intended for circulation, possibly leftover from internal trials or even mistakenly introduced during a facility reset or die testing run, and this metallurgical anomaly alone would have been enough to make the coin worth tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars, but that was only the beginning, because once the strike was examined under high magnification and pressure mapping, it became clear that this coin had experienced nearly every imaginable type of minting error all in one instance, starting with a dramatic double die obverse that affected not just the date but also the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," with visible split serifs, staggered impressions, and ghosted outlines easily seen without magnification and confirmed as Class 1 doubling, meaning the hub itself had shifted rotationally between impressions during die creation. And the reverse was no less dramatic as the Union Shield design was completely misaligned due to a rotated reverse die estimated at more than 90 degrees from its intended position, creating a surreal, slanted appearance and making the entire coin look as if it had been twisted mid-strike. And even more compelling was the evidence of a severe die clash, where the obverse and reverse dies had struck one another without a planchet between them, imprinting the reverse design into the obverse die and vice versa, causing shadowy impressions of Lincoln's head to appear behind the shield and diagonal shield lines to appear across Lincoln's coat and bowtie. And if that weren't enough to render this coin an anomaly of historic proportions, additional surface analysis revealed no fewer than 4 major die cracks on the obverse side stretching from the rim inward, the largest of which cut across the T in trust and extended through Lincoln's hairline toward the date, while on the reverse, die fatigue and raised cuds were evident across the top of the shield and into the denomination lettering, 1 cent, with part of the O completely filled in due to a debris-filled die cavity, a flaw rarely seen with such clarity. And even more bizarre was the edge of the coin, which displayed a pronounced collar error known as a railroad rim where part of the edge had slipped outside the striking collar during impact, causing a stepped, ridged appearance that only intensified the coin's bizarre profile and supported the theory that it had been struck during a moment of machine malfunction or press misalignment. And with all these errors occurring simultaneously on a planchet made from a non-standard alloy, the coin instantly became a prime candidate for the most error-dense modern cent in existence, and PCGS certified the coin at MS-68 Red with special designation as a multi-error strike on experimental alloy and placed it in a special population report of one with no known parallels, and NGC followed with similar grading and classification, including notations for double die obverse, rotated reverse, die clash, multiple die cracks, filled die letters, off-metal composition, and partial collar. All of which created an official record of a coin so statistically improbable that experts calculated the odds of such a strike happening at less than 1 in 10 billion, and once word of the discovery hit the numismatic press and social media, the coin community erupted with speculation, excitement, and awe, leading to an international bidding war as elite private collectors, institutional funds, royalty, museums, and even celebrity investors entered the fray in an attempt to own what was already being called the modern Mona Lisa of American coinage, and when the coin was eventually auctioned through an invitation-only event in Geneva, Switzerland, it shattered all known records for a U.S. cent, hammering for an eye-watering $406 million to an anonymous buyer represented by a consortium of international investors, and the sale was immediately covered in global media, with financial analysts noting the increasing popularity of physical historical assets in wealth portfolios and hobbyist communities going into overdrive, with searches for 2023 D errors spiking worldwide and YouTube, Reddit, and TikTok flooded with videos and posts from hopeful collectors combing through their change jars, bank rolls, and mint sets in search of similar features, and though a few minor errors from 2023 have since surfaced, none have come even remotely close to replicating the extensive combination of defects and features found on this singular piece, reinforcing its status as a unique Miracle of minting and prompting calls from within the numismatic research community for greater transparency from the U.S. Mint regarding materials testing and internal batch handling procedures, though the Mint itself has remained silent on the matter, fueling even more intrigue about how this coin could have come into being. And while theories range from experimental strikes during training sessions to accidental feeding of legacy test blanks during equipment calibration, no definitive explanation has been offered, only deepening the mystery and elevating the coin's mythic stature within collecting circles. And today, the 2023 $406 million cent is stored in a state-of-the-art security facility, insured for more than $500 million and accessible only to elite researchers and curators under tightly controlled conditions, where it serves as a constant reminder that even in an age of automation, precision, and digital oversight, human error, mechanical failure, and serendipitous coincidence can still produce masterpieces of minting that transcend their intended purpose and enter the realm of historical legend. And if this remarkable story has ignited your curiosity and inspired you to explore the thrilling world of rare coins where pocket change can lead to priceless discovery, then don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you'll always be the first to hear about the next jaw-dropping find that could change your life. With nothing more than a single cent.